time around?
Yeah, I think there's a little less giddiness. You know, I think everyone's very excited, and rightfully so. It's a wonderful achievement to get this far into this tournament. But I do think the overall feeling is that there's still some work to be done. You know, there's some unfinished business.
Is that a product of last year?
Yeah, I would say the first time you go, there's a lot of shiny stuff that is, you know, exciting and fun and fresh or whatever, but it kind of tends to draw your energy away from the task at hand. Not intentionally, but it's just there's a lot that comes at you. I think we're a little bit better prepared for that this year.
What did your team learn most from last year's experience that can help it this year?
Uh, you know, I think the overriding feeling from last year was just that, you know, there was as much as we tried to normalize that environment, it is different, and you know, to a certain degree, there was a feeling that we were trying to do a little bit too much. Um, and I think, you know, one of the great things about the tough schedule we've had over the last few weeks is that, you know, just kind of grinding through a lot of those matches. You know, we're not playing to expectations. We're not doing anything other than just trying to win the next point. I know we keep talking about that, but I think we're in a better place, you know, in terms of our physical commitment to the work and just emotionally to be able to manage that a little bit better. That we don't have to play special Final Four volleyball. That Gopher volleyball is probably going to be enough.
Were there some logistical things that you learned from the last time that you can apply this time?
Yeah, just like I said, there's a lot of extra stuff that comes at you in terms of media and some other bits and pieces. So just really trying to manage that. You know, at the same time, there's different banquets and functions and the like. So, you know, now we know it's not our first rodeo, so we know a little bit more about what to expect and maybe how to manage that stuff.
How much do you watch the tape of this first Stanford game, or is that so many matches ago that the teams have evolved?
Well, their team's quite a bit different now. They've had some personnel changes, and they're actually running a different system. So, you know, for three rows, it looks pretty similar, but for the other three, it's completely different. So, yeah, there's not much value there. I think it's interesting to see tactically what they were trying to do, but for them, it was their second match of the year. It was our second match of the year. I'd imagine we're both quite a bit different by now. There was a question at the back.
That was mine.
Oh, there you go. Great minds.
Can you repeat it a second time?
Hugh, when you arrived, did you have a timetable in mind for how long it might take you to establish the culture you wanted to establish and become a regular player challenging for Final Fours and national
No,
championships?
no. I mean, we just had an idea of how we wanted to do it, and that was just to do the best we could and be the best we could be. And you know, I mean, that was it. We didn't know how long it would take, and I'm not sure that there was necessarily this end goal of we have to win it by a certain date or we have to go to a Final Four by a certain time. I think it was more about, you know, if we say this is truly what we want, then let's make sure our behaviors are aligned with that goal and then see where it takes us. It was more of that.
What does it say about the players you've recruited that they have latched onto this so quickly and really embraced it?
It says that they've chosen a really different college life, that they've chosen to make their college years about the pursuit of excellence and discipline and work, not in a bad sense, but you know, feeling empowered by developing a large capacity for work and understanding that, you know, the control and the commitment that it takes to be the best you can be is not just a volleyball skill, but that's a life skill that's going to hold them in good stead forever. So I get it. Maybe they didn't get to go out as many times as they wanted during the season or whatever. I don't know how other teams do it, but at the end of the day, you know, all of those things are still there, but you've only got 4 years to make the magic happen here, and I think they certainly were able to do that.
How much of a balance is there enjoying getting there and having that experience, but then being able to put that business switch on and being able to say, enjoy this moment, but let's take care of the task at hand?
Well, you know, it's tempting to think it's kind of a vacation, but it's not. It's a business trip, and that's the mentality. It's very important that we continue to protect our circle and you know, set boundaries with all the other stakeholders that now all of a sudden want to become involved at the 11th hour here. And we don't mind that support, but we just have to make sure we keep it at the appropriate distance. So I would say, like I said, protecting our circle, keeping it as much in-house and creating the energy within is going to be really important for us.
A lot of people may be watching volleyball, maybe not the first time, but not regulars. And it's like any sport, those who score, the guy who makes the basket,
Right.
that scores the goal. What I've learned over the course of the season is the value of the center. Can you
Yeah.
talk about Samantha's value in this team? I mean, sport parallel, center being the quarterback.
Yeah.
How important is she to what you guys have been able to accomplish this year?
Obviously, she's of critical importance to our success. But you could also say that about the people that take care of the first contact. I mean, Dahlia and Liz and Alyssa and Sarah and even Lex are taking a huge load passing. So, that's one of the unique things about our sport is that we're all very connected. It's one of the most team sports out there. You need everyone. Not one person can just take over. But Sam's great. Obviously very talented, very skilled, but her volleyball IQ is really high. And I do think her best is yet to come. I really believe that.
My education will get to the first hit.
We'll work it backwards. Yeah.
Hugh, you've talked a lot this year about your team's ability to make adjustments within the match and how important that's been. How much has that skill grown this year, say, as compared to last year?
Well, I think it's one of the critical differences between the two groups. And it wasn't that we were bad last year at all. It's just an inevitable evolution as you continue to learn and grow within the game. Then this, I don't know, these additional tools in your toolkit get put in place. And the ability to adjust means that you've got to have range in your game. The capacity to do different things and make different plays. And I think that's, and again, just another manifestation of another year and another year of development, of growth, of learning that the athletes have put in.
Talking about another year of learning, can you talk a little bit about the benefit to the team of 6 of them having played together for not just these 4 years, but going back into the deep practically?
Yeah, I think in terms of the personalities and the chemistry side of things, I think it's been really beneficial. Yeah, no doubt.
Are there ways that could be a negative sometimes?
Sure, yeah. But we set very clear expectations relative to what it is to be a teammate on this team. I think there's a kind of a false, well, at least in my opinion, it's a false expectation of best friendship, that all teammates have to be best friends and that we all have to get along. And, the reality, of course, is that it's, I don't know if it's naive or perhaps just wrong to expect 18 people to be best friends because they happen to share the same love for the sport. We want them to be great teammates. A great teammate is certainly friendly, but you don't have to be friends, but you need to be inclusive and respectful and loyal and honest, and you have to hold yourself and your teammates to our standards of excellence. I mean, those things are really critical, and from that foundation, real friendship can occur. But I think that's something that they've all bought into that's helped us to be good.
Is that a positive that comes from having played AAU together?
Well, I think when you're in the AAU world, you get familiar with each other and you learn how to play together, sure. But I think since they've been here, they've understood a little more deeply what it is to be a teammate. So I think they've grown and matured in that regard, competitively especially. There was a time when I think there was, if something went wrong, that would tend to infect everyone. I think now we're a little more resilient, a little more insulated from the inevitable, ebbs and flows of competition.
Are there things that players can do off the court, away from the gym, to kind of build that connectivity and the teammateness that you're talking about?
Sure, but we don't fall out of trees and catch each other or do anything like that. We if they want to go hang out, go hang out. But at the end of the day, our team building is done in the gym, and it's done in the team room where we're talking about, how we're going to manage the tough times. Because to me, championship behavior is not about being great when it's easy to be great. Anyone can do that. It's about how can you be great when it's tough? How do you manage adversity? How do you deal with those times? And those are real conversations that have to be had, and they're uncomfortable at times. But there's some real growth that happens in those moments.
I've heard it said that a lot of the growth for volleyball teams spring session and how successful it was
Yeah.
and how that's being manifested now?
Spring is really critical because we talk all the time about developing the capacity for work. That's where you build the engine in the spring, because we're playing all the time in the fall, and there's no chance for strength gains or cardiovascular gain or whatever. I mean, you might have some cumulative effect from all the competition that occurs, but you got to put the hay in the barn in the spring. So that's when it's challenging in a different way. Again, not punitively, but just, hey, if this is what you want to do, this is what it takes.
Yeah, one of my favorite press conference answers all season long has been when somebody or other asked, there had been talk, the kind of cliche talk, I guess, that sometimes happened about this is the kind of team we are, and somebody said to Sarah, okay, well, what kind of team is Minnesota? And her answer was instant, and it was, we're a team that works really hard.
Mm-hmm.
That's accurate?
Yeah, there's music to my ears. Because, that's the only magic we know, right?
Hard work.
Yeah. Not to crush the soul of every Harry Potter fan out there, but, that's the reality is that it's that's it. Work hard and work efficiently and have some scientific rigor to the methods that you're putting in place, but you got to do the work.
How important has it been for your seniors who now have had 4 years in this system to then teach that to younger players coming in?
Yeah, that legacy piece is critical. Now that we've got some of these things in place, that they have to be able to pass it on. And I think this group has done a nice job, but now it's up to the juniors and the sophomores to really take on that responsibility once this year's over. And that'll be a great opportunity for their personal growth and development, just like it was for this group of seniors who, as juniors, were led very well by Dali and Tony. It'll be passed on to the next group. Thanks, everybody.